Ahead of the deadline for reciprocal tariffs, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a 25% tariff on India, plus a penalty for buying Russian oil and military equipment. The tariffs kick in from the 1st of August. The U.S. President made the announcement in a post on Truth Social. However, he hasn't specified the quantum of the penalty on India for buying Russian oil and military hardware. This comes amidst negotiations between India and the United States for a trade deal. The 25% tariff on India comes on the back of the 26% reciprocal tariff announced on April 2nd. In his post, Trump reiterated his charge that India's tariffs remain the highest in the world. Trump also flagged non-monetary barriers in accessing the Indian market.
Is the deal with India finalized?
No, it's not.
Okay. So what rate are you expecting?
Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. But India's been a good friend, but India has charged basically more tariffs than almost any other country. You know that, right? Over the years. But now I'm in charge, and you just can't do that.
While India was expecting 20 to 25% tariffs in the absence of a trade deal with the U.S., remember, talks for a bilateral trade agreement are currently underway. A U.S. delegation is scheduled to arrive in India for the 6th round of talks on August 25th to continue discussions on the trade deal. Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held a meeting with Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal on the back of the 25% tariff announcement. On the trade negotiations front, President Trump has frequently highlighted a trade deficit with India, meaning it imported far more goods from India than it exported. An economic think tank, GTRI, has pointed out that beyond the $44.4 billion trade deficit with India, it runs a $35 to $40 billion overall surplus when revenue from education, digital services and financial activities and arms trade are factored in. This effectively means India has every reason to walk into a free trade agreement negotiations with confidence. Meanwhile, China's foreign ministry has issued a stern response to U.S. threats of raising tariffs on China if it continues to buy Russian oil. In a post on X, the Chinese foreign ministry asserted that Beijing would secure its national interests in ensuring, energy supply, adding that there is no winners in a tariff war. Political reactions from India have started trickling in. Congress Member of Parliament J. Ram Ramesh has hit out at the ruling BJP and urged Prime Minister Modi to stand up to the US President.
ये सूचक है हमारी बिल्कुल विफल ध्वस्त विदेश नीति का। और एक सवाल आज सबके मन में उठता है कि मोदी जी बिना इनवाइट के लपके हुए ट्रंप जी से मिलने गए थे, उसका क्या फायदा हुआ? देश का हित कहाँ है? देश के लिए आपने क्या किया? पीयूष जी 8-10 दिन अमेरिका घूमते रहे, फोटो पोस्ट करते रहे, थम्स अप दिखाते रहे, 25% टैरिफ हम पर लग गया।
यूनिलैटरली ट्रेड टैरिफ अनाउंस किया है, जब ट्रेड डील चल रही है, ये ट्रेड टैरिफ अनाउंस कर दिया है और किस शब्दों में उन्होंने ये अनाउंसमेंट किया है, ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। और आज प्रधानमंत्री को जो हम लोग सब उम्मीद कर रहे थे प्रधानमंत्री जी जवाब देंगे सदन में आकर राज्यसभा में सिंदूर को लेकर, पर वो खुद नहीं आए। गृह मंत्री अभी जवाब दे रहे हैं। कल खुद प्रधानमंत्री आकर बताएं, देश के एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर बताएं, वित्त मंत्री बताएं और गृह मंत्री बताएं और रक्षा मंत्री भी जुड़ जाएं, टॉप मिनिस्ट्रीज जो हैं हमारे देश की, कि ऐसा क्यों है कि यूएस यूनिलैटरली इस तरीके के डिसीजन ले रहा है और हम कुछ जवाब में उनको कह भी नहीं रहे हैं।
Mr. Jayant Krishna is a senior fellow at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. He's also led key initiatives of the Indian Prime Minister's Skill India mission. He's now joining us live from New Delhi. Mr. Krishna, thank you very much for your time. Apart from Trump declaring 25% tariffs on America's friend, he has also slapped a penalty. Your quick thoughts about the penalty and what's really at stake here?
It is really unfortunate the way things have turned out to be. This is a huge amount of pressure tactics. And at a time when the negotiations were still happening and when the 1st August deadline was still, there were a couple of more days to it, to announce this kind of a penalty, this kind of a 25% tariff is very unfortunate. In today's day and age, when negotiations were still happening, there was, there were some open issues like agriculture products and so on and so forth, because India wanted to protect its large number of small and marginal farmers. and the dairy sector. These are the sectors which India was very, very touchy about. But, without waiting for, these round of negotiations to be concluded, this tariff has been announced, which is very, very unfortunate. It will badly affect some of the sectors like automobile, like electronics, like gems and jewelry. Now, these are the sectors where India used to export a lot of stuff from to the US. Some areas which have been kept aside are pharmaceuticals, semiconductors, which are of interest to the US. Unless they import those products from India at a cheaper rate, US's healthcare industry will have gaps. So I think it's and even the electronics manufacturing. If semiconductors do not go, so these 2-3 categories have been kept outside the purview of that. But, it's a huge setback, to say the least. And this is not in the spirit of, the strategic ties that US and India have shared, and the friendship, that President Trump and Prime Minister Modi are, supposed to be having,
Mr. Krishna, Trump says America has a massive trade deficit with India. Trump also added India's procurement of vast majority of military equipment and energy from Russia, as well as obnoxious non-monetary trade barriers, are not making him happy at all. What happens next for India? What's the country's bargaining chip?
See, India will have to carry on the negotiations, and let US also get this very clearly, that US is not the only country with which India does trade. If you look at India does far more trade with China. The only difference is that with the US, there is a trade deficit in favor of India, which is about $45 billion. So I think India does not believe in laying all eggs in one basket. You know very well that we have already concluded our free trade agreement with the UK, with Australia, with the United Arab Emirates, and discussions are also happening with the European Union. So India is, getting into a proper trade regime and a partnership with these countries. And with the US, I think it's really unfortunate, but our discussions have to go on. And rather than giving some leeway of a few more days for the negotiations to fructify and to reach a logical end, I think this kind of a levy has been imposed. It is extremely unfortunate. Very, very senior people from Ministry of Commerce from India have been negotiating this, and we are very close to a deal, barring a few irritants which were there. Right. So I think we need to step up the pace of negotiations very clearly, and it has to be done in a true spirit of win-win partnership. That's very, very important. And in negotiations, mind you, not every country would get 100% of what they want. It's always a give and take. So I think the pace of negotiations has to be stepped up, so that this penalty, the 25% tariff, is rolled back as early as possible. That's what I would feel.
All right, Mr. Jayant Krishna, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
Pleasure.